We are making a podcast.
Yeah, it's some prog show.
Hello!
Possibly.
Look to the camera.
I haven't got
There's no point in
yet.
having a camera if we were not just
I was taking my shoes off, Joseph.
Oh, were you?
Yes, I was.
So, hello, this is the Bates and Proctor show with the two lovers.
The two lovers.
The two lovers.
Joseph Bates and
The
Harry
two
Proctor.
heterosexual lovers.
Yes.
We're both heterosexual.
Yes.
That's not a lie.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And we're going to talk about something real interesting for you guys, if there is any people out there.
Linguistics.
Yeah, who doesn't know about it?
Everyone loves linguistics.
Anyone who is our age, who has a life, and goes out a lot, loves linguistics.
Yeah.
Because
everyone loves it. It's just like the main thing you talk about. It's just like, I mean, you talk about it every day, literally, because you're speaking language.
That is true.
That is
I don't know if you talk about it. You just talk that language.
This isn't the debate we're supposed to be having.
Okay, alright.
Don't get married. Alright.
Go on. Alright. What's your hot take?
Well, no, we agreed on the topics. For the viewers at home, while we were having spicy.
What was spicy?
Nothing really.
Went to a Tanzanian restaurant, but none of it was
yeah, we went
spicy.
to a Tanzanian
It
restaurant.
was banana,
Yeah.
which was fried.
Which subject do you want to do? The British Sign Language one or Scots?
I think I have actually got the Scots one, because I'm still very strong opinionated by it.
Yeah, okay.
Go on then, to explain it.
We're going to have a debate, which is Scots a language? I will be arguing that it is a language. Harry will be arguing for the wrong point.
The wrong point.
He'll be arguing that it's... I hope he's arguing that's a dialect, because otherwise then his argument wouldn't be very credible.
Wouldn't be very credible, I
Yes.
suppose.
Yeah. So, if you don't know, there is, at least in academic circles, there is debate on whether Scots counts as a language or not. Scots is, it's a dialect or a language, depending on your persuasion, that is spoken in Scotland and in parts of Northern Ireland. It is, so you've probably heard a few Scots words before. But often it's passed out like slang.
But it's not, just to be clear.
We haven't started arguing.
Well, no, I know, but just to be clear, it's not Scottish Gaelic.
It's not Scottish Gaelic. It's not Scottish Gaelic. He is right.
Yeah.
But you got words like we.
As in little, yeah.
Yeah, loch, bit, barn.
I thought loch was Gaelic.
Well, yeah, they're saying Scots.
Okay, but it's a Gaelic word.
Fine, whatever. Lank, lang, tune.
I don't even know about this. The argument's going on.
Barn. I don't know how to say it actually. Barn is like, it's like a child. If you watch Dairy Girls, in Dairy Girls they say Wayne. They say Wayne, the Waynes.
Do they?
Yeah.
The Waynes? What, like the name? Wayne?
Like the children. The Waynes.
Oh, I never heard
Go
of
and
that.
pick up the Waynes.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, they say Waynes.
Alright,
Or the
fair enough.
Weens or something like that.
Alright, fair enough.
Now, bear in mind, both of us are English. If you're Scottish, feel free to come and state your opinion.
Beat us up.
Yeah, beat us up in the comments. Beat him up.
In real life, yes.
Yeah, in real life. Come down. We currently live in Wales, Cardiff. So,
Cardiff, Wales.
Yeah, Cardiff, Wales. So if you're Scottish and you have some strong opinions, feel free to say down in the comments. Beat him up though, because I feel like you're more likely to agree with me. So.
Sorry. What?
This is just a reaction to everything. Alright, should we get going?
Alright, yeah, go on then. Believing it's a language.
Well, no, I want you to start. I want to refute all your points.
Well, I think my first point is the fact that it's from English. So
Well,
how
yeah.
is it its own language if it's from English. Like when you
well, how?
read it.
Okay, by that logic, how is French, Italian, and Spanish a language? They all evolved from Latin. Every language comes from another language. Every language starts out as a dialect of the other language.
They evolved from it, but they're not like.
Yeah, exactly.
Words.
Scots evolved from Old English. Didn't even evolve from our version of English.
But I swear, a lot of modern English is used in Scots.
Yeah, but you can also say a lot of modern English is used in other languages as well. You use modern English in Welsh. When you don't know a word, you use...
Yeah, when you don't know a word, but I think that's the point I'm making. A lot of Scots, so when you looked at like an article, or when you looked on the Scottish government, a lot of it was just like English. In fact, it was literally written
so
almost
what you're
phonetically.
getting about is like, it's just English.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just English, but written phonetically. and with a couple words, like a couple slang words, which
I would say slang words. Oh, sorry. I have a cold because of this fucker. So, I would then also like to point out that there are many languages that are similar to each other, and we English speakers are just very used to labelling. Are just very used to, especially in the UK, we're very used to English by itself, but that we don't we don't have the culture that like Italians do, where we consider, or Spaniards.
Spaniards.
What?
Spaniards.
What's wrong with Spaniards?
Because it's not Spaniards, it's Spaniards.
Stop correcting me. The point of language is to communicate, and you understand me, so there's no point in that communication. So like in Italy, they have many different there are many different regional languages, but they all have some intelligibility with each other. Scots has intelligibility with English, but sometimes Scots, it works like a dialect continuum. The farther out you get, the more unintelligible it is with other.
Yeah.
So like, I'm sure like if you go to Edinburgh, Scots is going to be very intelligible. Like people who speak Scots.
Yeah, but okay.
The dialect of Scots of Edinburgh is going to be very intelligible with English, just standard English. But then if you go to Aberdeen or Inverness, it's going to be very distinct.
So would that not make it? How would that make it a language? If you said it's.
Well, yeah, no. This is the issue then. This is the issue then. There is no way to classify a language, and any way to classify a dialect. A language and a dialect are basically interchangeable. I can't remember who said it, but there's this one person said that a language is just a dialect, but with a army and a military. It has the ability to enforce itself.
Yeah,
as a language,
to enforce its
standards.
I suppose that is true. To be fair, I suppose that is a fair point.
And I would like to also argue, Scots has different dialects in itself.
Does it though?
Yes, it does.
Or is it more people with strong accents? The more north you go in Scotland, is it just the more slang?
First of all, I would like to
say?
point out, you keep on saying accent. You need to distinguish between an accent and a dialect. People get confused between them because they just think, oh, that's a different regional way of speaking. But they are different. An accent is all about pronunciation. So, like, for example, right now we're both speaking the same dialect, standard British English, right? But but we're speaking in different accents. You're speaking your southeast accent, I'm speaking the southwest accent.
Yeah.
Like, I'm extending my A's, you're
not.
Yeah, exactly.
I suppose the bit where I have trouble with it is because I guess like what you're saying, it doesn't I don't know, it doesn't technically relate to a whole separate country. So I know Spanish and Portuguese, you say it's similar.
Yeah.
But they're technically considered as two different countries, but I suppose because they're two different countries, maybe that's what's considered as
countries have multiple languages.
That is true, yeah.
But I think you brought up Spain, they have Catalonian, Spanish, and Basque, and I'm sure there's more.
I suppose, yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
But I suppose the fact, like, sort of England took over a lot of, like, the, like, not regional languages, but languages such as Welsh and, like, Scottish Gaelic, and people started talking English, and from there it evolved to these other, what you're saying is languages. That's why I'm kind of arguing it wouldn't be a language at all, because the thing is, it stemmed from the fact that it, like, you know, the English took over these places and forced them to speak English, and so
Well,
it changed it.
Scots is older than English occupation. It's been around since the 12th century.
But it has no influence from English, or just all.
It does have it has influence. It does have influence from English throughout time, but like
So
that's why they're able
would
to
that
say
not? Would
if okay. So if you were to like cut off Scotland from England entirely, Scots would sound very different. But that's how the languages.
and it was a different language from Gaelic.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was understood that in the Highlands they would speak Gaelic, and in the Lowlands they would speak, well, they called it Scottish at the time, but Scots.
Mhm.
In very old Scots they called it Ingles, but it was spelled differently.
Really?
But then, like, by the 15th century, people started thinking of it as a distinct language.
Oh, so even back then they thought it was just.
Well,
English.
but that's how, you know, at some point it would have branched off from English.
I
At one point it
suppose.
was English, and at one point it wasn't.
I suppose. Okay. Yeah.
But I think you need to acknowledge that, like, every it did not evolve from modern English. It just has aspects of modern English because it has a lot of interaction with modern English, but so do a lot of other languages generally say, and I would even argue that's not even to be with the fact that they're related. For example, Tagalog, we were talking about it earlier, it's not technically related to Spanish, it's not related.
Tagalog.
Yeah, language of the Philippines. I might be saying it. Tagalog.
Oh,
Tagalog.
Philippines.
Yeah, in the Philippines.
Filipino.
It's very similar to Spanish, but that's just because for the longest time Spanish and Tagalog were right next to each other. But if we were talking about origins, they could not be further apart.
Yeah, I suppose.
And it's the same with English, and it just adds on to the fact that Scots and English do have a similar origin, which is that they both evolved out of Old English.
Mm.
And not only, I would also, I think, don't quote me on this, generally English has more Latin influence while Scots is more Germanic.
Yeah, but see, that's the bit where
The influences come in different places.
But see, that's where I relate it back to English again, because English is technically a Germanic language, and I think the reason why Scots is Germanic is because of English.
Yeah.
So
that's true. Yeah. I don't know what the argument is.
Okay, so therefore, right? Could you not argue that that the fact that it's mostly been based off English, that it is really just a different version of English?
Well, no, because again, you can argue about that for any language that most people say are languages. Like, you could argue, like, all of Italian is Latin based.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, but what about maybe like American English or like Australian English? They speak like.
That is a very interesting
Yes,
conversation.
I know it's different. I know it is, because they say, right, Americans say a lot of different terms. They say a lot of different words, which are still still from English, but it's still different nevertheless.
Mm.
So would you count that as English, or a different language? Sorry.
I believe that one day it would be a different language, but I don't believe American English is currently a language. It's a dialect of English.
So what makes you think it's a dialect rather than just a different accent?
Well, because I believe there's more mutability between British English and American English than there is between British English and Scots.
Maybe.
Because you've heard Scottish people sometimes, like I struggle with understanding Scots a lot of the time. I don't struggle the majority of the time listening to an American.
But could that be? Yeah, no, you are right. But could that be possibly.
Not only that, but you also have to consider the fact that like there's also a national aspect too. There's a like Scotland has a national movement. You know, like they want independence. Therefore they're going to argue Scots as a language. A country in nationalism, a country needs a language. It does have Scottish Gaelic.
Does it need a language? Does it need a language?
Let me finish.
Okay, all right.
In American nationalism, they prioritise the English language.
Yeah.
Yeah, a nation needs a language. Is for nationalism to work, you need a national language. Scotland has Scottish Gaelic and Scots. England has English. Wales has Welsh. Ireland has Irish. America has English. Australia has English. So on and so forth. So even Americans don't consider. I'm sure some of them do, but that's because they generally don't know that England speaks English.
I wouldn't say that. I think they probably know.
No, I'm saying for the people who speak American.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe they know anything about English culture. So my argument here is that like the reason why we don't consider Australia or America those languages is because they don't consider their dialect of English their own language. They consider it a dialect of English.
Yeah.
While with Scotland, a lot of Scottish people consider it its own language.
But okay, but if that's your argument, so would you just argue the fact that a language is its own language just because people say it?
Yeah, it's a cultural. It's more of a cultural thing than it is an actual thing.
So you say it's sort of, it doesn't really matter if like
it doesn't.
Scots is really similar to like English, or that most of it's really English, or that maybe there's a couple of different words.
There's plenty of languages that are like that.
Like what?
Well, you have many of the Scandinavian languages are mutually interchangeable, intelligible with each other, right? But why are they consider different languages?
I suppose like the biggest sort of relation would be like Hindi and Urdu.
Yeah. They have a lot of intelligibility.
Which is that is arguably.
But it's just the speakers hate each other, so that's why they consider them two different languages, and the Scottish and English hate each other. So you know, like.
I think the Scottish just hate the English. I don't know if they hate English.
Yeah. But you know, like. There are plenty of languages. You can think of many I would say you can think of many examples of two different languages or two different dialects where people debate whether they're the same language or not. Urdu and Hindi, on a practical purpose, yes, they are the same language, but you would be caught dead saying that in either country. And it's the same. If people would rightfully be pissed if I went to Spain and called Spanish Portuguese or vice versa.
Yeah, you are right about that. You are right.
Yeah. It is a large part of it is a cultural reason. Language is largely a cultural thing. Like not only that, but I would also then argue a lot of Scottish people won't speak Scots to an English person. They'll speak English.
Yeah, but how much difference is that? That's the question. How different is it?
Well, they'll drop a few words.
I suppose.
They won't say things like we or bane or lock, I guess. Well, they might say lock actually.
But yeah, you do make some good points, to be fair, Joe. I mean,
yeah.
I suppose
they I'm pretty sure they don't speak it in a formal context either. So like, they're speaking it like you would speak the language.
I suppose that's another big point of what makes a language its own is like formality.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like the biggest thing is like it's only recently that Scots was made as its own official language in Scotland. But that's another thing. What's the grammar like? What's the
that's
language?
That's
what's the?
I know it does have its own
language like because if it's basically just the exact same as English, again, could it not be argued that it's English?
I mean, you've seen like Scottish.
And I think but it's just written. Yeah, but it's just written like it's phonetically.
Yeah, but some of those are like their own words.
Yeah, that is true.
Like, not only that, but you're saying with an accent, they are arguably their own words. Like, for example, if, like, Bane is definitely its own word, we is its own word. Canny or canna is its own word, because you're saying you're combining, like, you're combining two words.
That's just from cannot.
Yeah. But, like, that's how you make new words.
But it's
That's how you make new words. You dissect words.
If I say I can't be bothered,
yeah,
which is something that they say in Scots, I think.
yeah.
You're saying that's not more or less the same as English, just said in a different accent.
I would say it's Scots. I would say it's still very similar to English.
I would say if someone said that and you were learning it, you'd be like, oh, well, I already know that.
Yeah.
So how does that not make it
people
English?
have a difficult time learning Scots because it's similar to English. Because you have to distinguish what is Scots and what is English.
I suppose.
Yeah. Do you have any other more arguments?
No, I think that's it really. I think that
Okay. You down in the comments decide.
Is Scots a real language?
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm right. You know, the Scottish government recognises it as a language. No, the UK government does as well.
Alright.
You know, I'm sure, and I'm sure a lot of Protestants in Northern Ireland will get annoyed if you don't say it's a language. Yeah.
Alright. Well,
They even argue that their dialect of Scots is. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, there you go. That's too outrageous.
I think some people argue that Doric, which is a very distinctive dialect of Scots.
It's just
sorry. Is its own language. I don't believe that. I just believe it's like the most Scots one Scot could be. But like, if you want to hear what Doric sounds like, and what Scots in general sounds like, watch the movie Brave. One of the characters speaks it. Because they were asking him, "Hey, can you do some Scottish gibberish?" And the actor was like, "Do you want me to speak Doric?" And it is very distinctive. I can't understand a word he's saying in the film, and I guess that's the joke. But like, it's very difficult. I find that confusing because like they all know this guy, so I don't understand how they can't understand him.
But there you go.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no. If you want to learn about Scots, I'm pretty sure there are some like Scots learning websites. It's a very interesting language or dialect, depending on your persuasion.
Or indeed accent.
You can't argue it's an accent.
I can argue whatever I want.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Alright, I feel like...
Can you at least admit it's a dialect?
No. Alright,
Why?
I think, because I said it. I think I'm out bombshell. I think we're done for episode 1.